Hey everyone, it's Ian here, also known as White Robot, and today I want to discuss miner wars and go mining, but in particular take a deep dive into the new leagues that has been added. They was added around 3 weeks ago now, and although I could have recorded a video back then, I wanted to spend some time getting to grips with it, but also any new feature that's added takes a little bit of time to kind of settle in. People get used to it, people learn the strategies, and um, things tend to settle. So now it's time where I feel it's beneficial to record a video, and hopefully the information I share in this video should remain relevant for a little bit. I think it's important to know that anything with Go mining changes really quickly. So if you're watching this video like 6 months ahead of when I recorded it, please jump into the Discord. I'm pretty active in there, but make sure to ask questions and get a full understanding. I do try to record videos quite frequently and will hopefully continue to do that. Anyway, I am rambling now. So why I'm recording this video is to talk about miner wars. So in Go mining, when you join, you basically first of all need to purchase a miner. There is a free trial, but once you've used that free trial, I do recommend buying a miner. And if you haven't done yet, please use my referral code. There is a code in the description of this video, and when you do join, there's a fantastic referral system, so make sure to get involved with that as well. But anyway, let's focus on miner wars. So once you purchase your miner, there are two modes which you can mine in. There is what's called solo mode, and with solo mode, your power is essentially it becomes a part of a big pool of mining power that Go mining own, and that gets put into Binance's pool, and based on your power share of everything, you will receive daily Bitcoin. When you join Miner Wars, what happens is that you are basically sacrificing those solo rewards to battle for hopefully more money. And how it works is that, well, that's what we go through now, and I think it's better just to show you. So, if you're on desktop, when you see your miners, it will look like this, and then you click in this Miner Wars. On mobile, this is obviously designed for mobile. You can see it looks like a mobile screen. It looks the same as this. So, the goal of Miner Wars, once you join, is I like to describe it almost like a spin the wheel. So I'm doing a really bad job of this. So when you join Miner Wars, your power will start to create a score that's shown here. And the higher your score, the higher your odds are winning this round. And these rounds are mapped with the real Bitcoin blockchain. So it's all reliant on this score. This number is the most important thing in this game. Now, you can increase this number in two different ways. Well, three different ways. Technically, four different ways. The first one is with more terahash power. So to physically buy more miners, and the more miners, more terahash power that you own, and it doesn't matter what efficiency it is, the more power that you own, the faster this score will increase. And just by having more power, you have higher odds of winning the round. Now you can boost this, like I said, by buying more power or by using a rocket. And one rocket will add 1500 terahash. And that costs one GoMining token. And at the time of recording this, it's just under 50 cents for a boost. And just to give perspective, if you was to buy that much terahash, it's around $20,000. Like, it's a huge sum of money. So to get all of that for one GMT is amazing, but it only lasts one round. So that's one way. Another way is, so that's one of the boosts, and that will increase this score up here. This purple one is basically buying 10 of those. So loads of power, and it means that this score goes up really fast. Or you can do what's called a score boost, and this will just increase this score by 500,000. Now, when you buy a rocket, so one of these first two, or mining power, this score will increase gradually. While this score boost does it in one go. So rockets are gradual, and doesn't matter, like, however long the round is, it will just continually climb. While the score boost is a one-off purchase. And it takes 5 minutes for one rocket to catch up with that. So I think these are too overpowered personally, but basically if you click on this and the round is less than 5 minutes, it's a better use of money. Because like I said, it takes 5 minutes for 1500 terahash, one rocket, or one rocket to catch up with one of these. You'd have to use 10 of these to catch up with one of these. If that makes sense. So if it's a short round, it's a no-brainer to use these. If it's a long round, it's the best investment to use this. But the issue is, we don't know how long a round is. All we know is that on average, and this is based on the Bitcoin blockchain, there's no algorithm working this out. This is the length it takes, or how long a round is based on how long a real Bitcoin block takes to be solved. We know, based on how Bitcoin works, that over a 2-week period, on average, over that 2-week period, it should take roughly 10 minutes for a block to be solved. And there is something called network difficulty that will adjust every 14 days to keep this as close as possible to 10 minutes. So that means, unfortunately, because it's based on an average, some rounds could be fractions of a second, or some rounds could be an hour or so. And it's impossible to know exactly how long that round would take. There is a slight delay between this game and the real Bitcoin blockchain. So there have been people that have kind of gamed the system, and they can see, oh, this round's really short, I'm going to quickly boost now. And they boost loads of reds. But, I mean, that's cheating, technically. But apart from that, nobody has any idea how long this round is going to be. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but personally, a really good boost strategy that I've seen is to spam boost lots of reds. And that basically pushes your score so high that your statistically more likely to hit that block than anyone else. So if it's a short round, like I said, if it's under 5 minutes, the best use of your money is this. If the round is longer than 5 minutes, it makes more sense to do these. So like I said, what I've seen really good that kind of works for the bulk of the short rounds, or for all short rounds, is lots of reds. And then another one that I've seen work really well is to use reds initially, and then to mix that with rockets to stabilize your percentage. So if you can see, without boosting, in this particular league that I'm in, my mining farm is 1.29% of everything in this particular league. So I have 1.29% chance of winning that particular block. So it's a high probability already. But if I press one of these based on the length of this round, this should push this up to about 3%. And if I push it up more, it should go to like 4.5%. And like I said, it increases my odds. And the best way of describing how a winner is selected is picture it kind of like a spin the wheel. So you spin the wheel, you don't know which one it's going to land on. It could land on any one, and then it will stop. And with the boosting kind of increases the gap on the spin the wheel, but it's all luck. So although you could boost up to like 50%, somebody with a tiny little gap could still win. So sometimes what you see is that somebody spent crazy sums of money to boost to a high percentage, and then somebody that has like 10 terahash will win. And I've seen that multiple times, that some lucky, very, very lucky person has fairly low investment in the project, and they've won a really big multiplier just purely out of luck. So you do have to be aware that terahash is for life. So when you invest in terahash, you're going to own that permanently, and that amount of power is used in every single round. While a boost is it's gambling at the end of the day, because none of this guarantees that you'll win. It just increases your probability of winning. And obviously some people get lucky, some people don't. In terms of rewards in MinerWars, it's broken down into two groups. There is the Bitcoin rewards, and that's distributed across your clan. And then there is the farm rewards, and that is specifically to the individual farm, or the individual account, if that's easier to understand, who physically hits that block. And that's when you get what's called personal rewards, and that's made up of GoMining token. And where that money comes from is basically, when people boost, it fills up a bucket of rewards, and then that gets distributed minus 2.5% that they take, and they break that down at the end of the cycle based on how many blocks there were in total, and that gets distributed between everybody. In order for somebody to do well in MinerWars, somebody else would have had to have lost money. That money doesn't come magically from nowhere. It's had to come from somebody in order for you to make more. With the exception of the highest league, where the GoMining reward actually comes from the tokenomics. So if you're in Odyssey, which is the highest league, there is actually physically more money to be won. That's where you see a lot of people boosting quite heavily in that particular league. But in the other leagues, the money comes from us. So if you have made more money, somebody else has lost it. So you do need to understand that solo is stable rewards. So if you like just to have constant stable rewards and get your share of the real Bitcoin rewards, then stay in solo. But if you I find MinerWars is just so much more fun. And if you just pay attention to the data and don't overboost, it's not hard to make more money. I don't think anyway. I don't think it's hard. Especially now with leagues, if you have high terahash, you will hit personal blocks. Well, yeah, statistically speaking, you should hit personal blocks, and that just naturally. I mean, as long as you're hitting solo Bitcoin rewards, your return on investment is just higher in this mode than it could ever be in solo. So that's generally how it works. Another thing I think is worth pointing out is how a winner is chosen is done in 2 steps. I know when I first joined this, I wrongly assumed that it was chosen in one go, but it's not. It's done in 2 steps. So step number 1, the clan needs to win. So you can see here in this clan that I'm in, over on the right, the clan I'm in has just over 9% chance of winning this particular block. And I don't think anyone's boosted this particular round. We can check. So you can check in the round. And you can see nobody's actually boosted in this. They boosted in these 2, but not in the clan I'm in this particular round. So without doing any boosting, we are 9%, and I'm just over 10% of the entire clan, which is kind of scary. So it's a really nice odds, but like I said, the clan needs to win, and then based on the clan that's winner, then a winner is selected. So once our clan wins, I'm not going to sit and do the maths, but I'm over 10% of the clan, so I have over 10% chance of winning the block if our clan wins the block, if that makes sense. I can't remember if I explained this clearly, but like I said, the clan wins the Bitcoin rewards, and that gets distributed between all of the terahash. And whatever terahash you have, you get your share of that. And then the farm rewards, which is made up of GoMining, you receive 95% of that as the winner, and then the clan owner gets 5% of that. You can see this exactly in the rewards tab. So whatever is in here in your clan is what your clan have hit, and in this personal tab is what you have personally hit. So everything in here, you will get the share of the Bitcoin, and this gets calculated after. I'll just show you the last round so you can get an idea for how that looks. You can see it will show you at the end of the cycle exactly how much Bitcoin you get from each of those blocks. And then the personal as well, you can see this gets worked out afterwards. And then every Tuesday, you get your Bitcoin will go wherever you set it to go, and then the GoMining token will be put into your virtual wallet, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And then if you own a clan, you will see it here. And I set up a clan when it started, so you can see that was my 5% very early on. So that's rewards covered. Now let's get into the difficult thing of choosing a clan, because I know this is a thing that everyone always struggles with. But in addition to choosing a clan, you also need to choose a league. So let's just hop over to article that came out about leagues when they were added. So there's basically 5 leagues. 4 if you purchase an account, because there is one starter league which is for basically for the free miner. Once you purchase a miner, then you can access one of these. They've added in 4 leagues. Odyssey is the top tier one, is where the big money is, and then it technically goes down. Now we're 3 weeks on with this, and I don't think it's quite working how they expected. Because when you create a clan, it starts off in June, and then if you earn, if you're in the top 3 of that league, then the following week you move up to Horizon, and then whoever's the bottom 3 of Horizon then drops back to June. Basically, they move around. At the moment, how it's working is that Odyssey is the top one, and then although June's supposed to be the bottom one, there's actually more money to be won in June than these other 2. But what I like about these 2 is, regardless of how much Terrash you have, the probability of you winning the personal block is much higher. So there's less money in there, but the chance of you winning that is a lot higher. So I'm personally in Eclipse, and that's just based. I mean, this is based on my personal situation, because I have like 1,000, just over 1,600 terahash, and I'm growing. I'm growing that weekly, and my goals are probably different to other people's, but my strategy currently is to kind of sit in these 2 leagues. I might potentially change that, but basically there's 4 leagues, and the idea is this is kind of like top tier. This should be the second best, third best, and the worst one. But just because this is where people start, there's more clans in there, and you see people when they go up a league, they will go back. Like, they would close the clan and go back, so it's not kind of working how they imagine. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this gets shifted slightly, because there's basically 30 clans in each of these. So the top 30 in Odyssey, the top 30, so the 31st to 60th is in Eclipse, and then the 63rd to 90 is in Horizon, and then everything else is in June. But just because of the nature of where the money is, because people can leave a clan and move to another one, it's not as balanced as it should be. Like it's not what you would expect, but it's useful to understand that. So I will link to this article in the description of this video so you can read through this. But basically, the main difference between these leagues is, I mean, with the exception of the amount of power and the amount that you can earn, is the multipliers. So in Odyssey, Odyssey is the maximum of everything, and there's also the extra prize pool from the tokenomic votes. So winning a personal block in Odyssey is about, you would have to, I mean, I haven't done the maths for this, but say hypothetically, win 10 blocks in Eclipse to match 1 in Odyssey. So even though there's less power and therefore higher odds of winning in these lower leagues, if you win 1 in Odyssey, then it's worth a lot more than these. But there's a lot more aggressive boosting there, and a lot more power there as well. Like, that's where all the big clans are, like the huge clans. That's where the heavy boosters are. That's where, the more aggressive users are. Annoyingly, some of those more aggressive users are using multiple accounts, and they do have clans in all the other leagues, but so far it's kind of working out. At least it's working out for me. So let's go back to this, and so if you click this at the top, you can see the clans. So this, like when you join MinerWars and you need to pick a clan, it should look something like this. So there's a lot of data here. So where should we start? So in terms of filtering, you can see all of them, or you can choose a specific league. So like I said, Odyssey, Eclipse, Horizon, and June. If you're on mobile, you will see the starter one, but if you purchased a miner, and you should really, after the 16 days, because this is brilliant, you will only see these four. So you can search specifically through each of these, but the data to really look at is this, or what I focus on personally, or what I care about only, is the power share and the block share. So power share is the amount of, so the percentage of power within that whole league, and the block share is the amount of blocks that clan has won of all of the blocks available within that particular cycle. So this is showing it for the last cycle. So this clan here, they were a tiny share, and they basically won over 100 times what they would have got if they sat in solo. Now this clan here, I know this clan here has a very aggressive strategy. They keep their power very low, but they boost aggressively. And I'm pretty sure they're not allowing anyone else in. If you wanted to join clans like this, you have to network your way there. You can try joining, but they probably decline your request. You would have to probably demonstrate that you are boosting heavily, that you're willing to boost aggressively, and then network your way there. These clans are managed by real people. Some of them are like there's clans that are run by people that are really good, really good at managing people, but the bulk of people just aren't. So some of these more aggressive clans, you just have to get to know the people. So some of them in these clans that I've been in have been pretty cutthroat. If you don't follow their rules, you're gone, and their focus is making the money. But so network your way there, get to know people, this, that, and the other. So if you want to get into a very aggressive clan like that, go for it. So if you scroll through these, you can see most of these have this, like it's purple, and it says I can't get my words out. It says to request, and like I said, some of them might accept you in, but most of them, if you don't follow their rules, that you're just going to get kicked out. So you can see this one, only boosters, no boost, no next week. So you can go through, you can see the data. So you can see most of these are done pretty well. This middle score here, it is useful to see that, because this score share shows you the power plus the score with boosting included. So if it's quite high, you can see that clan boosts quite a lot. And that's also useful, because that shows that clan is active, or at least last cycle had somebody that was boosting heavily. And you'll notice that if this is less than that, it just means that it's not that efficient, that they've not been that lucky that particular cycle, that they boosted a lot. And I would have to look at the data, but it's quite likely that someone in there, although they made more than solo Bitcoin rewards, they probably paid too much to boost. So they probably lost money. So you have to be aware of that. This one, very lucky. So nice power share. They've done a little bit of boosting, but they've done really well. So they've done do the maths, but like 8 times solo. They haven't over boosted, so they're really well in that one, and anyone can join that. If it says join, anyone can join it. You can just click. There's no exception. You can just jump in. It doesn't mean that they will keep you in there. There's still a probability that you will get kicked. So what I recommend to do is join, message in the chat, and then get into their Discord or whatever and get to know the people in there. Yeah, so you can see, there's a lot of really good stats in here. A lot of them have done very, very well. So you need to consider that data. Also, something I think is worth considering is what you want to get out of MinerWars, because I've been in clans that have been very aggressive, but the people in there just want to get things done. They don't want to chit chat. They just want to make money, and they don't really care about anyone else. Like they literally don't care about the other people in there. They just want to boost heavily and make as much as they can. And then I've been in clans where where they're very close knit. People become very close friends. A lot of them are very loyal to the clan. And there's lots of different clans, lots of people. Everyone's different. So if you want to be with a group of people that you really like, you do need to spend a bit of time, what I call hopping between clans, or clan hopping. And just so you know, if you join a clan, if you hit a block, so I'll show you. If you hit a block in here, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. If you hit a block in here, you've won it. Like, you can change clans, you've won it. You are not going to lose that. Same with these. Like if the data's in here, you have that. You will get that money. The next Tuesday once the cycle's ended. So just going back to this, change clan. So look at the data, and if you can look at past weeks. Annoyingly, they don't make that easy to see. How you would have to figure that out is, let's try and work this out. You would have to look at the leaderboard, and then you'd have to change the cycle, and then you'd have to look at the data in here, which is it's kind of manually done, and I really want them to improve that so that it makes it easier to see all of the data and to choose a clan properly. Because I personally think if you look at the data, there are clans that always or very consistently make more than solo. And if they are consistently make more than solo and you don't need to boost, then you're going to make more than solo. It's just a no-brainer. And if you also hit personal blocks within there as well, then you're going to make a lot more than solo. And there might be the occasional week where you've earned less, but from my experience, there are weeks when you could earn like 10 times solo rewards, and they completely offset the handful of weeks, at least from my experience, handful of weeks when those clans make less than solo. I think also it's really, really, really important that you understand that just because a clan has hit lots of blocks, so let's look at highest power. That's interesting. It's not ordered it. It's not ordered it in the right order. But so some of the clans in here are like 400,000 terahash, which is huge, and they win loads of blocks. And it can be very you can feel like you're winning loads because you're winning so many blocks. But the issue with the really big clans is that because like this clan here is nearly 33% of the entire power within that league, they have to win 32.86% of all the blocks in order to match solo. And you can see that is not the case. If anything, you can see that people are boosting and they're actually not even, you know, getting slightly less than that. So, yeah, so if your aim is to get the Bitcoin, that's a problem. But where these big clans are beneficial, and I think it's important to understand that everyone's strategy needs to be slightly different depending on how much money you have to play with. But because of the way the winner is selected, I kind of like to see it as there's two nets. So because Wagminton here has about a third of all the power within that league, actually I should factor this in of the score share. So on average, they have about a quarter of the power share, including boosting. There is basically 1 in 4 chance, statistically, of Wagminton catching the block. Now, say, hypothetically, your goal is to win the personal blocks. If you could be a big whale within one of these big clans, and, I mean, I don't necessarily mean in terms of terahash, I mean with boosting. If you are a large fish or a whale within that big clan, then statistically you have a higher probability of winning that personal block just based on the way that the winner is selected. So one strategy that I think could be interesting is if you was to buy loads of 35 watt and then you don't care about the Bitcoin because you've got poor efficiency, you could just have bulk and that bulk could just be sat in something like Wagminton. You're a big fish in a big net, and hopefully the 256x, so the 256 multiplier, which is only available in the bigger league, then statistically you have a high probability of winning that block. And you could use, like, I've seen people building blocks and building bots, sorry. You could in theory have 35 watt, have a big farm that's cheap terahash, and set up a bot that boosts specifically on like the 256x, and then like statistically you have a high probability of winning that jackpot. So you know there's strategies to it. So even though the Bitcoin rewards are lower, depending on your strategy, being in a big clan like that might be beneficial. So you know these are the type of things that you need to be thinking about. If you are low terahash, so sort of under, I say like under like 200 or so, or under 100, focus on the Bitcoin. Focus on the best ROI. So look out for clans that are either consistently winning over solo, or if you want to boost, and I think boosting is really good. I've done well with boosting, but then also I've had cycles where I've lost because it's gambling. So there's lots to consider, and like I said, Odyssey is where the money is. But what I'm doing is I'm in Eclipse, And my strategy over the last sort of 3 weeks has been to be in a clan which A is active and consistently does well. But then also, if I can be, based on the size of my farm, is to be about 10% of that farm and then them to be 10%. So it's kind of like 10%, 10%, roughly. Not there's no exact science to this, but that's what I've been doing, and that's been paying off well for me. Um, Prior to leagues coming in, I felt like boosting was throwing money away, but since leagues have come into play, it's kind of been worth it, Hang on, I'll show you my rewards. So everything here, this is all unboosted. I haven't boosted any of these. I can prove it. This 4x, I didn't boost. You could see somebody boosted in the clan, but I got really lucky. And you can see people boosted in these. Nobody boosted in this one. People boosted in these. And it just happened that I got really lucky. Spin the wheel. Even though other clans are bigger chunks on that wheel, I just got lucky. And even though somebody else boosted, I got lucky. But I think it's because I had 0.43% chance of winning that. So I just got lucky. But all of those are unboosted, and like I said, if you have high terahash, regardless of efficiency, you will probably hit personal blocks, just statistically speaking. And that percentage, that probability of winning those personal blocks becomes higher when you're in these lower leagues. I did boost, I think it was cycle 89. I won so much that week. Or was it that one? Oh yeah, it was this one. It's been a while. So I was just winning loads. Like I got an 8x. And you can see I boosted then. I won 8x by boosting. And that cost me 30 GoMining tokens. So I did 20 rockets, and that 20 school boosts, which I felt would be adequate if it was a short round. And then I did 10 rockets, and because it was over 5 minutes, it paid off using those greens, because that meant like if I put that 10 GoMining into this, I would have a slightly less score and I might not have won it. What else is there to explain? I think I've covered pretty much everything. I think we'll just look at the leaderboard. So the leaderboard, you can see all of the data, but because I'm in Eclipse and because the clan I'm in is in this particular league, it shows all of the data. So you can see how many blocks the clan has won, and then you can see how many blocks the individual farms have won. This information is an estimate, and the accurate figure will be worked out at the end of the cycle. But basically how that's worked out, this is how much money's gone in so far. And other than Odyssey, all this money comes from boosting. So there's been $15,703 worth of boost gone into in this single league alone. And that basically gets divided between everybody at the end of the cycle. And then you can see how different the prize pool is. Like in Odyssey, the Bitcoin reward is over 200,000, and in Eclipse it's like under 20 grand. So it's a huge difference. And the GoMining token in here is just over nearly 16,000, and in here it's 127,000. It's a massive difference. So you can see Eclipse has 15,000. This one only has 12, and then June has 53,000. So you can see like in June, which should be the lower league, there's a lot more money there to be had, and I think that's just because why that is because the top three leagues there's only 90 clans, but June has everything else, and it just happens that there's more terahash in that league, therefore there's more Bitcoin to be had, and because there's more Bitcoin, more people are aggressively boosting to make that money. I think I mentioned it already, but basically how the leagues work is that if you are the bottom three, you're going to move down to Eclipse, and then if you're in the top three in any of the other leagues, you'll move up. You'll basically be promoted on the next cycle, and if you're in the bottom three, you will move down. And I think I think one of the reasons why some of these are disbanded is because they don't want to be in that league, and they've just left because they want to go back to June or whatever. So I think I covered everything. But yeah, so if you have any questions after watching this, please jump into Discord. I'm quite active in there. I'm White Robot in there. And you can ask questions. There's obviously a lot of other people that can also be helpful as well. Or feel free to comment on this video. And as I said earlier in the video, if you're completely new to this, please use my referral code. Because then, A, you get 5% cash back, but also you can do it as a thank you. Because GoMining have this fantastic referral system where any referral that I get, I basically get 5% cash back from anything that you buy new. So any upgrades or anything like that. But also they have a really good ambassador thing, and I get a small tiny fraction of the electricity money. But my goal is to continue to work on that. Right. I was waiting. I was waffling because I wanted this round to end. So I'm going to. Oh. I'm going to use. I might do two. So I have single-handedly have 45% chance of winning this, and you can see how it's going down. It's not maintaining that percentage because I would need a lot more terahash to maintain that. But my hope is this will be a short round, under 5 minutes. We shall see. And I don't mind gambling this money because this was from the bounty. It was kind of free money. Well, it was free money. Now I'm going to. Just since we're doing this for this video, let's try and win this block. Hey, please be a short round. Please be a short round. So you can see it's slowly going down. And so you can see anything that's in green is people in my clan that are boosting. Anything is red is other clans. You can see if I click in here, the clan I'm in, because of me, I should be, yeah, I'm number 1 on here. The clan I'm in is the leader, so our clan has just over 31% chance of winning this. That percentage will be declining a lot because of the amount of reds that was used. And I've still got the highest score here, and hopefully I can maintain that throughout this. See, it's dropping. Because this is a static one-off boost, while using the rockets adds more. So if I want to keep that high, I'd have to do loads of reds, but I've used up all my GoMining, so I can't do that. So it's just a case of sitting and waiting. You can see this slowly dropping, but it's still a nice percent. I'd be happy to hold a good 10% throughout this. Because see, this has cost me. So I've gambled. I want to stress that this is like it's a game, but it is gambling at the end of the day. I've used 14 GoMining token, which is roughly like $6, something like that, between $6 and $7. Um, and if I win it, hang on. If I win it, we can check. This is one part I haven't shown you. If I win it, I would get roughly 40 GoMining token at the end of the cycle. If I win that, so make sure that you don't overboost, because this will probably be at the end of the cycle something like 35 GoMining token. If you boosted more than that for 1x, you basically thrown money in the bin. If I win this, I should get like 80 GoMining token at the end of the cycle, and I've only used 14. So if I lose it, it doesn't matter. A, it was free money, but B, I could technically do that same thing like 4 more times, and as long as I win a 2x, I get my money back. But there's no guarantees on that. It's just statistically, based on the amount of score, I should be able to get that money back with the amount that I'm boosting. But that's something that you do need to consider. But my main focus is more power. I have to always grow every week. That's my number one rule, is I have to grow every week. So anything I'm using for boosting is either I accept that I'm going to lose it, or it's play money, as in it's free from people buying people. One of my referrals buying something, kind of consider it like free money to play with. But in general, I try to invest in Terahash, because when you buy that, you own it forever. Or I lock that money and it slowly mounts up. I'll also show you the chat. So if you want to have messages, I won't share it in here because I don't know if anyone's shared anything confidential that they wouldn't want anyone else to see. But basically, this shows that there's some messages in there. This you can see information. So if you want to know more about it, you can. This allows you to share your clan. But this history is one of the most important things. It allows you to see how long previous rounds were, who won, which clan won. You can click on them and see, who boosted, how much they spent, which person won, and so on. So there's a lot of data in there, and if you're new to this and you're still trying to get your bearings and find a good clan, it might be worth kind of just picking one and then studying the data and watching the data carefully, and then making a choice. Like I've been with GoMining over a year now, and MinerWars came out, I think it was in October, and throughout that time I've got to know people. I spent time in the community, I spent time in Telegram. I've got to know so many people through the project. And by doing that and watching who's boosting, I've just got to know which clans are good, which clans are consistent, who the whales are, who the freeloaders are, and all this sort of stuff. You just see it in all the data. And it's that information that's really, really powerful. Because from my experience, if you look at the data, you can't lose. You can't. I mean, well, you can, because it's always a gamble. But if you just look at the data, you shouldn't be making less than solo every week. And people are. And that's because they're just making bad choices and staying loyal to clans that just are not good. Um, I, if you're in a clan and it's not performing very well, just tell the clan leader that you want to make some changes, and they'll probably be fine. And if they have an issue with that, then who cares? Like, anyone that's a friend won't have an issue with you leaving the clan. If anything, just jumping from a clan without telling the clan leader that you've left, especially if you've been close with them, just tell them it's fine. We're all getting our bearings in this. We're all friends in this. It's just a game. Right, this is going on too long, so I think what I will do, because I was gonna wait until this round ended, but I got a feeling this one's gonna go on forever, which is unfortunate based on the amount of reds I used. Would have been better to use greens. Um, I will post in the description of this if I won the block. But like I said, if you have any questions, find me in Discord or post a comment on this video. And I wish you all the best of luck with your Go mining journey, your investment, and hopefully we will all be millionaires one day. So thanks. Take care. Bye bye.